midnight in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and protesters are gearing up for a 60-kilometer march to Milwaukee.
We've got people out there looking out for us, but we need to be our eyes and ears as well.
The motivation to keep the spotlight on Jacob Blake, the black man who was shot multiple times in the back by a white police officer back in August. But another key focus to drive voters to the polls.
We want everybody, and I mean everybody, get grandma, auntie, and uncle, and go vote. Let's vote. Whoever gets in that office, the Blake family, Brianna's family, and many others will be marching a week after their election to make damn sure we get something done this time.
The shooting left Blake paralyzed from the waist down and prompted protests that in turn led to clashes with police and the destruction of property and businesses. In the aftermath, President Trump visited the city, met with police and impacted business owners, and campaigned on a strategy of law and order. In contrast, the former Vice President and Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden met with the Blake family and listened to Black Lives Matter leaders.
You know, it's clear that Trump is about divisiveness and lawlessness and signaling groups that are going to be harmful to black and brown people and to what we're out here about, peace and justice. And even if Biden gets in, we're going to hold him accountable for the things that he's promised on his platform.
There is reason to believe the Law and Order platform will resonate with voters. Cities across the country reported spikes in homicides this summer, including Chicago, which recorded its deadliest September in over 25 years. But local leaders say strong policing alone won't bring change.
What's leading to the violence is the resources that have not been put in these communities for decades. We all got a role to play. The police department got a role to play because we believe the law is for the lawless. But however, you cannot arrest your way out of this violence.
Back at the march, organizers hope to encourage early voting.
This is just one of a number of events that have been arranged in and around Kenosha ahead of Election Day. They want justice for Jacob Blake, but they also want their voices heard at the ballot box.
African-American voter turnout suffered a sharp decline 4 years ago, but activist Rochelle Anderson-Moore believes it will be a different story this time around.
I think our young people, they've seen a lot and they've experienced a lot. You know, with all the killings that are going on, I pray that it has motivated people to get out and vote.
The issue of racial justice is being thrust firmly back into the spotlight. It will soon be known what, if any, impact it has on this presidential race.
Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashimi, Habashai, Ba'ashem, Habakakadash. Double honors being to our elders, the apostles of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect, noise in the gospel of God, living understanding of Yahweh, Ba'ashimi, Habashai, wherever it may be. It's the Aki Mahaloya, coming back with another lesson to the Spirit. Jake, man, this voting shit. You see how simple and simplistic these niggas, they don't fucking learn, man. You know, here they're talking about possibly global anarchy on Purge night. I mean, not Purge night, on election night. And yeah, niggas are talking about, well, after the week after we vote, we gonna go and march for a week for Breonna Taylor. What in the hell has marching got you niggas, man? Why you sitting up here with your twirling your freaking thumbs and talking shit? Putting empty Hennessy bottles and balloons for a memorial of the dead. You got this black woman talking about, well, we got to go out and make a difference. Look, as long as you got Esau in power, woman, there will never be a difference. I don't know how many times the Most High has got to tell you that through the prophets. How many times does the Most High have to continue to reiterate to tell you to come from among her, my people? So you niggas are just deplorable, man. All right, you're very despicable. And you're very, you're just deplorable to look upon, all right? But why this is not focusing on that, this is focusing on how they're predicting civil unrest next week. Because the country is purely divided, all right? And if you watch that movie, The Purge election year, I believe it was the third of the Purge series that came out back in 2016, if I'm not mistaken. It was a pretty good movie, Purge election year. They pretty much show you on how divided the nation was and how it will lead to global anarchy. All right, so we're looking at none other than, and this year alone has mimicked the Purge, man. If I may have known one, due to the pandemic, the riots, the cop killings, you know, the injustice due to the Jake communities, and the list goes on, you know. So crazy part about it is that a video came out of this young chick. She was basically breaking down how somebody she know worked for the National Guard, if I'm not mistaken, on how they was going to deploy all their units out on election night, and just in case there be mass protests and riots, in which there will be protests, there will be rioting, you know. That's a fact. That's every election. But to the magnitude, I mean, I don't know. We just have to wait and see, you know. But we're heading to a purge. That's no ifs, ands, or buts, because this country is highly divided. You know, they giving people the illusion to believe in the Democratic and the Republican Party, which both of them the same birds, just two different feathers of the same bird. You know, one oppose one another just to give you people the illusion that you have a say-so as to what the hell is going on in your society. But if that was the case, you wouldn't be down, you wouldn't be paying child support, you wouldn't be ran by a tyrannical government, you wouldn't be paying taxes, because everybody and their mother knows that taxes are illegal and it's wicked. And if anybody had a right to vote the IRS and the Federal Reserve out of the code of law, that would have been done a long time ago, which shows you that you people don't have the power of say-so. It's just the illusion of freedom, which an illusion is nothing more but a illusion which is just fake. It's something that appears to be real but doesn't exist. Okay? And that's your beloved society, which is circling the drain. CTD, circling the drain. You know? So the Most High is about headed with this place. And hey, we're here to warn you. Hey, purge, whatever you want to call it, it will be a purge, and it won't be called it won't be just a 12-hour event, you know, that all killing and murder is legal. No, this purge is gonna last all the way up until Yahweh Shai make his return, when he's gonna crack the clouds. It's got kind of tongue twisted there. This thing is gonna last, all right. It ain't gonna be like in the movies, it's 12 hours and everything go back to normal. Then your neighbor going back into being your best friend, you overeating cupcakes and no, man. This is gonna be a real, to the point that people are gonna literally start taking matters in their own hands. Because the elder brother brought it out. He said it beautifully. He said you can tell that these protests and these riots by Black Lives Matter were staged by, you know, in Antifa and all these sorts of different shenanigans, is because, for the simple fact, why was none of the child support offices attacked? Why was the stores next door being vandalized, but yet you got the biggest oppressor on the planet of so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American men, but yet nobody breaks in, nobody torched the child support facilities, nobody torched the Planned Parenthoods for real? You know, nobody go to these IRS buildings and torch them? But you're talking about some justice, which those particular businesses and those fraudulent businesses have done nothing but shown racial injustice to our people since the beginning of time. So why wasn't those attacked? All right. So anyway, I'm gonna play this other preview of the Purge election year, man, because this is a damn good movie, and I recommend brothers to go back and watch this, because you Jakes, you don't have a clue as to what's getting ready to happen to you. All right. They are planning your way out of this place. All right. We ain't talking about on a friendly voyage either. They're planning on doing away with you and locking a lot of you in them FEMA camps. All right, so I'm going to play this video here, and I'm going to go into some scriptures, and we're going to end it.
We can still touch lives and touch this world. And now each time you pay with contactless using your MasterCard in grocery stores, MasterCard will donate to Stand Up to Cancer, one precious cent at a time, up to $4 million. Together, we can start something priceless.
Salakia. This is the trailer.
Played a lot of Purge games this evening. We have just one more. It's called Mommy's Choice. Which one of you will survive this year's Purge?
The soul of our country is at stake. The Purge targets the poor and the innocent. innocent.
The senator's going to win. She's going to make real changes, too.
It is a night that is defining our country.
It's time to do something about that senator.
The purge has to come to an end.
You take a lot of risks, Senator.
I have to. I was the only one in my family to survive. Want me to apply for this position?
I almost did something on Purge night some years back. I want this night gone. I want men in all these rooms. We got eyes and ears on everything. All right, let's begin.
This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge. At the siren, all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 hours. Your government thanks you for your participation.
Someone betrayed us. This is not a drill. We are on our own. We have one goal right now. Survival.
Senator, come with us.
You gentlemen understand what's at stake here. It is our duty to help protect her. Here they come.
Blessed be America for letting us purge and cleanse our souls. Join me as we eliminate evil. Purge and cure. Purge and cure.
Just remember all the good the purge does.
Right, it's called the Purge election year. We're in election year now. So, hey, man, who knows what's going to happen that night. But nonetheless, I've heard that they got all the reserves on standby just in case things go left field. And that's funny because a new purge was supposed to come out this year. I believe it was called the Forever Purge, which shows you forever goes into continual. So the times we coming into is going to be heavy, you know. And I'm expecting riots on election night, you know, like I was recommending that brothers kind of, you know, all be linked up together, just, you know, to test the spirit, you know, probably do a sit down on what's going to happen. But, you know, it's all through the spirit. We'll be okay. But nonetheless, if Trump win, there's going to be some tension. If Biden win, there's going to be some tensions, or something can happen over the weekend to the point they may have to suspend the election. We'll have to see. But either way it go, this place is on a downward decline and fast because the country is divided. All right? So this is the book of Isaiah 19:1. It says, "The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and should come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt should be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt should melt in the midst of it." And that represents when the Lord comes back with those chariots to bring holy hell to America, you Edomites and you other nations. It says, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians," which represents you Americans, "and they should fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." All right? And you're seeing that. This is why you got Biden supporters, you got Trump supporters, like that lady said, "We need to go down there and vote. We need to make a change." Ain't nothing gonna change here. All right? Only change you can bring is when you repent. That's it. You can't change something that's been established in hatred and bloodshed. You ain't gonna change that. But you can change and come back to the Most High and receive salvation. It says here, "And the spirit of Egypt should fell in the midst thereof," and the spirit is falling down. The businesses are closing down. You know, the money is getting ready to be devalued so they can bring in a digital currency and all sorts of madness. It says, "And I will destroy the council thereof," which the council represents the witchcraft, the sorcerers, the elites, "and they should seek to the idols and to the charmers." People are going to go to their presidents. They're going to go to their senators. All right. And to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. All right. Because they're going to go looking for answers, asking what to do and when to do and how to do. You know, that's why the scriptures say, "Woe to them when they go down to Egypt and have not asked in my mouth, that they may trust in the shadow of Egypt." You know, and that's the spirit that this place is coming in, mainly our people. So our people, man, they know all hell getting ready to break loose, but they too stupid to believe it because they want to put their life and their trust in some misfortune place, you know, which this is not our rest, like the scripture said. So any Jake that's talking about voting, man, hey, you gotta leave that, you gotta avoid that guy, because them guys, them gonna be the ones that's gonna get duped They're going to get slandered, and then they're going to get thrown in these prisons, these FEMA camps, and they're going to willingly take that chip because they believe in false promises. All right, Matthew 12:25, it says, and Yahweh Shai knew their thoughts and said it to them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought into desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then should his kingdom stand? All right, and Yahweh Shai is making a clear point. So the shit you're seeing now in America, you're seeing the breakdown between the liberals, the lefts, and the liberals and so forth, the constitutionalists. You got these right-wing militias. You seeing all hell break loose among these particular groups. That's how you know that this place is getting ready to fall, because there's too much division. You know, that is like if you cast something asunder or you saw something in the middle, it can't stand. The elements are broken. You know. So anyway, I got my last precept here, straightforward. Everybody knows it. Second Esdras 15, and I'm gonna start at verses 15. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people should stand up to fight against another with swords in their hands. That's race wars. So you can expect rioting on this election night. Like you Black Lives Matter protesters, look, them Proud Boys, they got something for your ass, man. You know, because you BLM protesters, you're set up anyway. You know, you're controlled opposition. And it says, for there should be sedition among men, invading one another, and they should not regard their princes nor kings, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So the name of this lesson is going to be called Purge Election Year ? We'll see. You know, because eventually that's going to happen. Whether it's next Tuesday or a month down the line, you know, we don't know, but we'll see. And it says, and a man should desire to go in a city and should not be able, martial law. But because of the pride, for the city should be troubled, and their houses destroyed, and men afraid, and a man should have no pity upon his neighbor, but should destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Okay? So, hey, brothers, we're coming into some heavy times. Stay prayed up. Call on the name Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, that he may draw nigh unto you. And with that, Shalom and the Baba Ball.